Tom, thank you so much for joining us. Just wanted to get started by asking what your motivations were for attending this conference.
Okay, basically there was two motivations. Trocaire, we've been working on climate justice since 2006, so this provided a great opportunity maybe to reflect on the work that we've been doing in our programmes to date and see where does that stand up in relation to the community and in practitioners. And also as well, we were presenting research here. We had been doing household research for the last 2 years in 4 countries in Latin America and in Africa, so we wanted to share the findings of that research with the broader development community that was here.
How have you found the event so far? Has it lived up to expectations?
Very much so, yeah. I found the event, I suppose reaffirming in one way and about, the work we've been doing and I suppose how that fits into the bigger picture. So I suppose I would kind of reflect on 3 things, yeah. One of the things I was very happy to see is that there seems to be an emerging body of a kind of a coherent approach to addressing climate change, yeah, in programming, so that I think people using very different frameworks and language to talk about disaster risk reduction, livelihood security, climate change adaptation, so that there's a lot of convergence in this and what does that mean for our individual areas of work. And I suppose also it does present a challenge, yeah? And I suppose the 2 most striking challenges that I'm taking away from it is one in relation to a lot more work needs to be done in communication. I think it's becoming apparent that there's kind of slippage both in the north and the south about, the urgency of climate change. And then I suppose as well that we have to reflect a lot on doing much more work to address this urgency.
And what would your vision be for the future of community-based adaptation on the back of this conference? In a couple of years' time, what do you hope we're talking about? Where should we have got to?
Okay, I think one thing that will be very useful is to have greater coherence and convergency by a broad range of disciplines. I suppose what we've looked at in the conferences that people have been approaching adaptation from an ecosystems approach, a livelihoods approach, a humanitarian, economic and politic approach. I suppose to maybe increasing convergence on that. And then I suppose the greatest challenge then is the integration of the traditional knowledge on behalf of communities and the scientific knowledge and kind of the technology that's being developed by the academic and science community.
Are there any kind of particular methods or technical approaches that you've come across here that are exciting you? There is some very interesting work. I think some very interesting work on how participatory techniques and tools can be used with the communities to kind of increase people's awareness and to work with communities in a very natural way, in kind of increasing awareness around climate change and also about integrating climate science into people's decision-making processes. So that was one thing that I found very interesting. And then it was also very interesting to hear practitioners, especially in the area of agriculture, and kind of the changes that people have made in their programs to increase adaptation for communities. Tom, it sounds like it's been a helpful few days for you. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Okay, thank you very much.